Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday. Yes, last week we didn't do this, and I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Maybe. All right. Weird. I will say that allergy season is in full bloom here in Kansas. I didn't have any allergies while we were gone. I didn't have. Here's the funny thing: I didn't get any bug bites in Miami. I didn't have any bug bites while we were gone. I didn't have any bug bites in Florida. We get back from. We're driving home, and we stop at a Love's. And I go in to go to the bathroom. So I literally walk into the gas station and walk back to the car. I have 4. I'm like, really? Really? Okay. So it's just weird. So, yes, if you do not follow on Instagram, Sam and I were gifted a Royal Caribbean cruise. We found out last Thursday morning. Well, not last week, but the week prior. So right before the 4th. And so thankfully, Sam was already off on Friday. So we spent the morning doing laundry, running around and taking care of things like making sure rent was paid, bills are paid, going to pick up last minute things that we needed to buy, and all of that really kind of fun stuff because we just, it's stuff that needed to be done. And so then Saturday came, and we got up and washed the car and did all those kind of things, and Sam laid down at about noon to take a nap, and he slept until about 1:30, I think, 2 o'clock. And I kind of looked at him and went, I wish we could just leave today instead of waiting to leave till tomorrow. And he looked at me and went, okay, let's finish up here and go. So that is what we did. We drove from here. We stopped in Marion to drop off key and stuff for my parents, and so they could come check out Peaches. Good morning, Jacqueline. Welcome in. And then we went to Pride. Well, before we left town, we stopped at Dollar General and filled up with gas. And Sam's like, why don't you run in and get us a couple bottles of 1 liters for the road? I said, okay. So I walk in, and right as I walked in, there was this big cart, and it said 85 cents each if you buy 3. And there was Sunkist soda, like orange and grape, and their summer flavors, and RC Cola. So I bought 3 RC Colas for about the same price as it would have cost us for 2 1 liters of soda. So after we went on to my parents and did a couple things with them, and then we went to the convenience store, and we just paid 50 cents for 2 large cups of ice and filled them with our own soda. It worked out perfect. It was great. We got on the road. We already had lunch, so we didn't stop until dinner. And to be quite honest, I don't even remember what we had for dinner. Oh yeah, we do. We stopped and got gas in Missouri, and so we got Popeyes. And I told the lady, I said, we just need an 8-piece chicken tenders, no sides. We're on a road trip. We're on our way to Miami. We're stopping in Tennessee tonight. And she's like, oh, and there had been a couple other people ahead of us, and they were tapping their feet and being really rude. She was like the only person in there on a holiday weekend. And she ended up giving us like 17 chicken strips because I went, Sam, he goes, what'd you order? I go, an 8-piece? He's like, that's not an 8-piece. I go, I know. It was insane, but it took care of dinner. And breakfast the next morning because we stopped at an Econo Lodge in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is right outside of one of the military bases. The room wasn't fantastic, but it was sufficient because we got in about 1 a.m. And so literally we slept for about 4 hours and got back on the road. And while we were driving on Saturday, I was really nervous that there weren't going to be any rooms available on Sunday, with Sunday being the 4th of July, being a holiday weekend. And so Sam and I kind of talked about it. He's like, well, looking at the Miami hotels were like $300 for one night. I was like, holy cow, that's insane. I looked in Orlando. I looked at Disney. I looked at Universal. Nothing that would have been like in the price range that we were looking at. So I backed up to Gainesville. Gainesville, Florida has a very special place for our hearts because that's where we stopped. We had Bob Evans on our very first trip. And I said, Sam, they have a Drury Inn. And Drury's, we love them. They have what's called the 5:30 kickback. And it's some sort of, they call them appetizers. We call it dinner. I apologize for the sniffles. I have allergies, and welcome to Kansas. They're cutting hay. We had things like chicken strips and mashed potatoes and gravy and all this great food. And there will be videos of that coming up here shortly. And so we had dinner, and with the 5:30 kickback, each adult over 21 gets a card, and you get 3 drinks per night that you're there. So we had dinner and drinks, and then we had a full breakfast the next morning. Sausage and eggs and waffles and all kinds of stuff. If you are going somewhere, find a Drury, because it's definitely worth the price to stay there, because you don't have to worry about food. So we got in on the 4th, and while we heard fire, it was so nice to get a hot shower and eat and just kind of relax. Sam worked on some homework, and then we were able to get a good night's sleep. We were up about 5 o'clock on Monday morning. We had to wait until 6 for breakfast, but it took us only about a half an hour to eat. We got on the road onto Miami. Now, here is a tip. The GPS is going to instruct you to go over to the express lane when you get down into near Miami. You don't need the express lane. They're literally parallel to each other. It costs us $30 in tolls, which I already had 20 on our Sun Pass. It cost us an additional $10 because we got in the express lane. So definitely don't get in the express lane. You will pay more for that. You don't need it. There's no exit that you physically need that is in that express lane. So we got onto Miami on Monday. We parked in a parking garage, which I had already prepaid for that. It was amazing. They had great service, and we have a video about that coming up as well where we talk more in depth. And we got over to the Royal Caribbean port area. And it was, Sam sat I said, okay, because I saw a lot of people in line. And I'm like, can we go ahead and get in line? And they're like, well, what time's your boarding? And I said, well, it's at 2:30. And it was like 12:30, I think. They're like, sorry, this is the 1 o'clock group, and this is the first group, and well, you can typically get in line about 15 minutes before your boarding time. I said, okay, that's fine. And a couple people are like, oh my gosh, I don't like this. It used to be just a free-for-all. I don't understand why we're doing this. Well, it was wellness check stuff, so it wasn't a big deal to me. So I did some videoing and picture taking, and Sam worked on homework. He had already emailed his professor in advance because technically he started school on Monday for his next class. And he went, hey, just letting you know, we're going to be out of the country this week. Can I go ahead and I've submitted part of my assignments? And the teacher was like, that's fine. When are you going to be back? And he said, well, we'll be back, on Friday. And she's like, that's fine. Just make sure all your assignments and things are submitted by Sunday at 10:30 your time. So he did. He got it all done. So our first day, like literally we ate dinner ported in Miami. They don't leave until 7 o'clock out of Port of Miami with Royal Caribbean. So I thought that was very strange. Because I know everyone else is like leaving at 3:30, 4 o'clock. But actually at 3:30, 4 o'clock, they were still boarding people because they didn't start till 1 o'clock. Wrong one. Okay. So, we, sorry, lost my train of thought. What was I? Oh yeah. So we had dinner and then we went up to deck 13 to watch us pull out, which was very nerve-wracking for me. But it was good. And then we kind of we went and saw one of the comedians, and I kind of was feeling a little wooey. It was my first time on a boat like that, and so I went in and laid down. Sam kind of just gave me a little bit of space and wandered around the ship and things. He ended up coming back and going to sleep on the couch, and I didn't even know he was back because I was literally sprawled on the bed. And so I came out of the bathroom and I saw us like literally screamed because I was startled, and I'm like, oh, I'd moved stuff and we went to bed. So Tuesday was our day at sea, and we did so much stuff on our sea day. We really didn't even go outside.
Hello.
Hey, I'm recapping last week.
Oh, your trip.
Yeah. So our sea day, we videoed the whole ship, and it took us about 2 hours to do, bottom to top, all along the boat. We did it. And then we did things like we went to jewelry shows and port excursion shows and stuff like that. And the food was so good. Sam had some sort of seafood at every meal.
I think I probably would too.
Because he, like for instance, Tuesday morning he had bagels and lox. And lox is like salmon for breakfast. And I'm like, well, you're fancy. He's like, it's on the menu and it's free.
Included in your cruise.
Right. Exactly. So it was, and then a week from last Wednesday, so like I'm brain dead. I haven't had coffee yet. It's sitting in my Keurig. We were in the Port of Nassau, and the Nassau is actually still really closed up. We still had to wear masks. In the video, if you see like us taking pictures and stuff, we had taken off our masks real quick and put them back on because at one point we didn't have them on. But then because we were told that as long as we were vaccinated, we didn't have to wear them. But then what their COVID-19 team that they have on the island is like, oh no, if you're from the ship, you have to wear your mask. And we're like, oh, okay, no big deal. Hello, BDF, welcome in. And so we put them back on, and we spent the afternoon and evening on the boat. We didn't leave Nassau until like 8 o'clock at night, but we were kind of done by, I think, after like 3 or 4 hours. There was that like people are like, oh, you need to go to Margaritaville, you need to go to Ron John Surf Shop, you need to go to Senor Frog.
Why in Nassau? You need to go to the places that we have here.
Apparently.
Well, I will say, when I was in Jamaica, we did go to Margaritaville, and I got a Jamaica Margaritaville t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. And
the Margaritaville there was different. There was no air conditioning. There was hardly ever air conditioning anywhere other than your resort.
Yeah.
And tables were out on the beach or inside where the fans are, but there was no air conditioning whatsoever. But it wasn't extremely hot either. I mean, it was warm, but you're right on the beach where the breeze is.
Right.
And the bathrooms were like outhouses.
Oh, lovely.
Right by where all the drug dealers were.
Nice. but they were all closed. They hadn't reopened yet. So we were like, well, we're just gonna go back to the ship. We went back to the ship, then we swam, and Sam got some sun. I got way too much sun. Like, I'm like still burnt. And it's been like a week. I literally yesterday, like, all I've been doing for a week is putting aloe on. And yesterday was the first day, like, I really scrubbed my face. And you can see it's like shiny because it's like fresh, brand new skin. But we bought some art at the art auction, and we had dinner. And then Thursday was Perfect Day at Coco Key, which is Royal Caribbean's private island.
Do all the cruise agencies have like their own private island?
Yeah, they do. Disney's is Castaway Key. Mm-hmm. Royal Caribbean's is Perfect Day. Carnival's is Princess Cay.
Are they all near each other?
I think so. Because when I look at the map from where, like, Nassau to Perfect Day, and then I look at the map, like, on Disney Cruise from Nassau to Castaway Key, they're, like, really near each other. So, sounds like it's probably the other side of the island.
Well, I thought they had their, like, own island.
Oh, they do. He was making a joke.
Gotcha. Sorry. Didn't catch that.
That's okay. We spent...
It's still early.
It is early. We spent 4 hours on Perfect Day. I did. I got so sunburned. I was actually physically sunsick by the time I got back to the boat. What's really nice about it, they pull up kind of to the edge of the pier, because instead of having dedicated people that stay and live on Perfect Day, it's all of your workers and stuff are those who are on the ship. So all of the people that, like, all your servers and wait staff and stuff, get off the ship and go take the food off and go start cooking lunch. And we weren't allowed to disembark until about 9, I think, and they were off at like 7.
I wonder if the other islands are like that. I know this was your first cruise, so you're not really sure, but
right. I think with Castaway Key, they have dedicated people that live on the island.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, they may have some people that live on the island that, like, help, like, with maintenance stuff, but, like, the people that serve the food and do all the cooking and stuff is actually your team from the ship. Because they don't even offer an option to have lunch on the ship. It's all off the ship. It's on the island. So we were out in the sun. I played in the ocean with Sam. And then we had lunch. And like I said, I was feeling so sunsick. I opted to go back to the boat. And I took the tram back to the boat. They do have, you can either walk down the pier, or they have, like, one of those really long golf carts. And you can take that to a checkpoint on Perfect Day. And then you can walk either to, like, the chill island where, like, they just have tons of loungers and stuff on the beach, or they have a water park. The water park is not included. It is an additional cost. So be prepared for that if that's something that you want to do. And Sam stayed out an additional 2 hours. He had paid $20 and rented a kind of a foam mat thing that you could lay on in the ocean, and he just floated around for 2 hours and fell asleep and got a sunburn. Worse than mine.
See, I always hear different things about cruises. I always hear, like, well, my sister loves them, and she's like, oh, we love them. Everything's included. But it's like there's hidden things in there. It's like, yeah, you can go to the beach, but you got to sit on the sand unless you want to pay $25 to rent this thing, and then pay another $20 to rent this.
Right.
And then if you get more than like 2 drinks a day, then you get charged, and like all these different things. And I'm like, it sounds like they get you there, and then they realize, hey, we're your only source of anything, and we're going to charge you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to grab my coffee.
Hi, Randy. I'm not talking right now. I don't know why. Because we're talking about cruising, and I've never done that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of some of our experience as well. Like the dining that was included on our ship was the main dining room, and because we were vaccinated, we were on deck 3. Deck 3 was for adults only that were vaccinated, and on Royal Caribbean they consider 14 an adult.
Interesting.
Yes, I thought that was very, especially when you're like the adults only area, you had like 14-year-olds in there.
My 13-year-old will be 14 this month. He's nowhere even close to an adult.
Some of the older adults and I were like, okay, I'm sorry, an adult should be considered one that has a drink in their hand, and by drink we mean like the pina colada of the day.
Oh, 21 and up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if like, well, okay, there's two arguments to that, because you've got kids. I never went on my senior trip, but you do have people that go on senior trip and might go on a cruise.
Yeah.
Now the teenagers are like, well, we want the adult section because we don't want to be around a bunch of kids. And then the parents at the kids section are like, you need to put these in the adult section because they're too rowdy for our kids. But then you've got the adults that are like, these kids are too rowdy. They need to go to the kids section. So they need like a medium of like the 20s.
And kind of like Disney has. Disney has a in-between age group area for 18 to 21. But 14 I thought was a little young for an adults only area.
Even, I think it should even go up to like 25. Because, you know, a lot of 25-year-olds, if they are not settled down, they're still rowdy just like those 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So, but anyway, hidden costs. Yeah. We paid for the soda package. For the two of us, we paid $85, and we got to pick our cups.
They're cute.
It's a Coke Freestyle cup, and it's got the Royal Caribbean logo on it.
So can you take that to Epcot and use it?
I wish.
I know, right?
It's not. It is insulated, and the inside of it actually is designed too. It's got the Royal Caribbean logos and Coke logo inside. It's a heavy duty cup. The only places to get, typically they had Coke Freestyle machines in different places on the ship, but because they wanted to keep it no contact, literally you handed your cup to the server. You could get it filled at any bar, and those would be sodas that would be for like mixers. Excuse me, like Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, ginger ale, that kind of thing. When we went to the bars, I'd like Coke, and could you add some cherries to it? They were always really happy to do it. If I got Sprite, I would ask for pineapple. So they were really happy to do that at the bars. So that's something to note. The only two Coke Freestyle machines that were available were in Windjammers, which is the buffet, and on deck 5 next to the pizza restaurant, which was free. That is some of the best pizza I have ever had.
Better than Blaze.
Better than Blaze. I had pizza at least twice a day.
I probably would too.
They had mussels and clams and seafood grill, and it was all included. It was not an additional charge, because I was like, this place is an additional charge, and the captain happened to be walking by, goes, nope, this is included. I said, even like the mussels and stuff? He goes, yeah, it's included. And I go, okay. Glad to see Lena is getting back to reality. Right? Yes, it is really a cool cup. I have a pink one, and Sam's is green. BDF says, I'm on meds. I can't drink booze. Well, I'm sorry about that. it makes me sad for you. Anyway, for main dining, deck 3, which is the bottom floor of the main dining room, was for adults that were vaccinated. Deck 4 was for those who were families that were vaccinated. And then deck 5, main dining, was for those who were unvaccinated or had children who were too young to be vaccinated. So they really had everything split up a lot. You had to wear your mask on the ship, which I know a lot of people complained about that I overheard, because some people had just gotten off of the Celebrity Edge, and the Celebrity is a sister company under the Royal Caribbean umbrella. And if you were vaccinated on the Edge, you didn't have to wear your mask anywhere. But on Royal Caribbean, you had to wear it unless you were outside or you were at a vaccinated only event. Like
so the hallways and places to eat until you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a big deal.
Some of the events, like the trivia games, were mixed events, so you had to wear them there as well. To me, it wasn't a big deal. It was air conditioned, so it's not like they were sticking you outside and telling you couldn't take your mask off.
Yeah. BF says she's on meds and can't drink booze.
Yeah.
You know, I work in the medical field. But I used to take, before I had my daughter, after my son, I was prone to migraines, and I took a migraine medicine, which was originally used for epilepsy, but they realized it works for people that get chronic migraines, and you were not supposed to drink while on that medication. I was in my 20s. I drink. Don't tell anybody. But I didn't, like, I wasn't a real heavy drinker by then because I had already had my son. So yeah, it would. Where'd you go? It wasn't like me getting crazy drinks or anything. I don't know where she went. She might have said, hold on a second, but I didn't hear her.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Nope, there she goes. I have a story for this morning. I'm so irritated. So one of my favorite products, if you drink, to be careful. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I work for a pharmaceutical company, so definitely be careful if you're going to drink. So this morning, I was like moving stuff around on my makeup table, and I was so mad, so mad. One of my favorite makeup anything is Too Faced, and
oh no,
I was using I had moved my contour palette, and it just goes flat right down on the hardwood floor, but it only broke like a couple little pieces off the top of it. But it used to be so pretty, and now it's like got little chunks down. It's like, so it's still usable. Thank goodness. Too Faced is way too expensive.
So they are harvesting and stuff is blooming, and I'm like allergy crazy.
Well, I got up a second ago to get. I could have just gotten the Kleenex out of this box right here, but no, I went to the bathroom and got toilet paper because that's what I'm used to doing. But I've got like my eyes are leaking.
Yeah,
I got leaky eyes today.
And it just hit me like yesterday. I was like, oh, and I like sneezing my head off. I'm like, I miss Florida.
Yes, some medications can cause drowsiness, but some can also counteract, like you taking pills and drinking at the same time. Some of them will make you more intoxicated. Some will counteract so bad that you could die. So if you take a medication and you want to drink, talk to your doctor and say, hey, I like to go to dinner like once a month and have like a drink or two. Is that okay? And your doctor will say, no, or yeah, that should be fine. So I didn't say that to be like, yeah, I got drunk while I was taking this migraine medicine. No, that wasn't the case. It's just, you just be cautious. Just because it says don't do it doesn't mean that you can't indulge on occasion. But there are medications that you cannot have grapefruit with.
Yeah, Sam was on a cholesterol medication for like a month, and they told him you can't have any type of citrus, and he's like, no lemons, no limes, no oranges, no grapefruit, and he went, no thanks. And he flushed it down the toilet.
I just got back my biometrics. So my work does like a biometric screening. I did mine from home. And you just like prick your finger, do blood, weigh yourself, document all that stuff. It gives you like your cholesterol levels. Because I'm keto, my HDL is rather high. But everything else was good.
Good morning, Rescue Rangers. Welcome in.
And my glucose was really, really, really low, like lower than it's supposed to be. But I'm keto. I don't eat sugar. So I was like looking at that and I was like, I think this may balance it out, because if I were to eat sugar, I feel miserable. I feel healthier when I don't eat sugar. So my glucose levels being low, I don't really think that's that much of a big deal, because if it was too low, I would be dizzy and lightheaded.
Right.
So just because the blood work said it was really low, and you got to think of this too, you're fasting at the time that you're taking that.
Yep.
So all your levels are going to be different than what it normally is on a day-to-day basis. So I was like, well, my glucose is low, which I'm not surprised. My HDL is high, which I'm definitely not surprised, because a keto diet, you're going to have a higher HDL. Everything else was good.
Good. So we left Perfect Day at 5:00.
Welcome in, Frugal Granny. It's her first time in.
Oh, hello, Frugal Granny. Welcome in. Glad that you're here. If you are new to the channel, I hope you are happy here and you will consider hitting that subscribe button. And my co-host normally is Christy from Christy's Corner, and I will get her link and drop that in real quick so that you can go check her out as well.
Tell her a little bit about your channel.
I'm gonna. Would you give me a second? I can't do things at once.
Good morning, Rescue Rangers.
So my channel is a little bit of everything. I do it. This is my 2-year anniversary. I started out doing it on my own, and I have evolved into, now that my husband isn't in the military, he is doing it more with me. And so we are the whole family adventures, and we travel, we cook, we craft. My husband is very into Christmas, and he does a lot with lights. And so we have thousands upon thousands upon thousands LED lights in our garage. And I can't wait for you guys to see all that he has been working on and see all that set up in December or November, I guess. I'm a travel agent with Magical Enchanted Vacations, as is Christy. And so we also have a live stream on Wednesday nights called Coffee Corner.
This is Coffee Corner.
This is Coffee Corner.
Tonight, she just got back from vacation. She may be a little fumbly.
I am. I'm normally, but I don't have it today. Tonight is Travel Talk, and with all of the Christmas announcements that have come out, we're going to be talking about the Christmas holiday at Walt Disney World. So make sure to come back here. It's on my channel tonight at 7 p.m. Central. If you have stories about, being at the holidays at Walt Disney World, we'd love for you to come and share those with it as well. Only about 50. I know, I'm so close, Rescue Rangers. I am so close. If you are enjoying it, please consider sharing it out on my Instagram, on your Instagram, and tagging us in it so that people can find the channel. I'd love to reach that 1K soon. I had made a sign for my door for our cruise, and it got left in the car. I know. I was mad. So chronologically, On Sundays, I have a stream called Craft and Chat where we just kind of randomly talk about things and we craft and we eat. Christy sometimes joins us. My friend Sammy of Just Sammy Things, she's also one of our Castle Chat girls. Was kind of us and anyone that wants to come hang out with us. We do that for a couple hours on Sunday. Wednesdays, when there's no school, and in the morning we have Coffee Corner, in the evening is Travel Talk. On Thursday, I am on a makeup stream on Christy's channel called Magical Makeup with Christy. And on Fridays, I am part of the Castle Chat crew, which is myself, Sammy of Just Sammy Things, and Christy of Christy's Corner. And this week, it's on Christy's channel with McDorkpop, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting better. And right now, through the end of the month, we are uploading videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays, but starting August 1st, we are going to have a video uploaded every day. So lots of things coming up we're very excited about. We have a 2-week trip to Walt Disney World coming up during the holidays. We are hoping to get in for the Walt Disney World Marathon 5K. So,
which one? The Wine and Dine?
Marathon weekend.
Marathon weekend. Oh, so like the one that's like around Dopey, but the Dopey challenge is 3 of them. Which
all 4.
Oh yeah, I was looking at that and I'm like, I don't know that I can do that. But I think you asked me the other day if I was going to do any of the 5Ks, not in person, because I'm not going during those times. But I think I'm going to sign up for the virtual Wine and Dine.
Hey, I'll talk to Sam. Maybe you could drive down just for like the 5K for the marathon, and you could always stay with us. All the rooms have like 2 beds.
That is a 12-hour drive.
But you left me.
But it's a 12-hour drive.
I drove 30 to go on a cruise.
Yeah, but go driving 12 hours to go on a 5K and then turn around driving back.
I'm offering you a bed. Just saying. Frugal Granny says, love the makeup channels. Yeah. Make sure and check out Chrissy. She's got a ton of them. I mess up whatever we're doing.
No, you do not.
So Friday morning we got off the ship. On Thursday when I got back to the room from Perfect Day, Sam was still out on the ocean bobbing around on his mat. I actually sat on the mat. Literally, you're supposed to lay on it, and it's got like this kind of built-in pillow thing. I sat on it like it was a carousel horse, and Sam pulled me.
I've done that. It's fun to do that.
Sam pulled me around because I was like terrified. I am not a good swimmer at all. I took swim lessons. I'm just not a good swimmer. And so if I can't touch the bottom, I freak out.
Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Christine. Oh, thank you, Frugal Granny. Thank you so much.
Oh, so she likes the makeup channels. The live stream that I do every Thursday night is a magical makeup live stream, and it's on my channel, which she put a link in there a little further up. And we do, it's not always Disney makeup. We do themed makeup. We pick a theme each week, and we do makeup geared to that theme. Some people go all out and like draw stuff on their face. It's me. Some people just do like a color theme, and we do our makeup, we say what we're doing, and we chit chat. And it's every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And some of my videos are like makeup hauls or makeup looks, how to get this look or whatever, things like that. But my channel is heavily Disney, so most of it is geared towards Disney or hauls. Tonight or tomorrow nights, we're doing Christmas in July theme.
And that's because I have a collab coming up that Chrissy hasn't finished her stuff for. So she's going to do a makeup look.
One stone.
If I have a collab, there's typically a magical makeup with that same theme.
Yep.
But when we got back from Perfect Day, on our bed was a sheet with the disembarkation information. I was like, I don't like this, but that's okay. And it had us in group 25. Here is a tip. Go to guest services. Like, we We carried on our own luggage. We did not have any of it dropped off for us. So we were able to do self-assist, which means we were able to walk ourselves off of the boat. So I just went to guest services and got a different tag. And you have to have each bag tagged for with a tag. So like even like my backpack, Sam's suit jacket was on a hanger with the covering from the store on it. That had to have a tag on it. If it didn't have a tag on it, they wouldn't let you take it off the boat. The ship. Sorry, it's a ship, not a boat. I got corrected on that several times.
Totally a boat.
I'm like, it's the same thing. It floats on the water. So we got up and we had breakfast, and they said originally that the dining rooms were going to be open at 6, but only the buffet was open, and the buffet wasn't really great. We had it for lunch on our sea day. The breakfast was better, but we just got things like bacon and sausage and a muffin. We got something really light. And then
yes, Rescue Rangers. Sorry. Yes, if we book Universal, Disneyland, anything, we can book anything. The only thing we don't get commission on, but we can still book it for you, is like flights. Frugal Granny, you can use. So one of my favorite things is it's a cream roller. Anything that's cold and you're like rub it under here will help with any kind of bags. You can get a jade roller and just roll it back and forth, and it helps with puffiness in bags. But I have this new item from Tarte Cosmetics that I absolutely love, and it's just a small stick. It's a little pump. You pump it, and your eye cream comes out of it, and it's got a roller, and you roll your eye cream onto your face. And I like that a lot. I actually didn't use it this morning because I was being very, very lazy. But a jade roller or that, I can look that up. You keep saying what you're saying. I'm going to look it up and then share my screen.
Okay. And also, Frugal Granny, if you go to my videos, or you can check out Christie's, there is a Dollar Tree challenge, and one of the other participants, her name is Syria, her channel is called Dream It DIY, actually got a jade roller from Dollar Tree and talks about it. So if you have a Dollar Tree close and you want to like try out something like that, some Dollar Trees do have a jade roller at Dollar Tree. So the new disembarkation process for Royal Caribbean. And hello, Melic Adventures. Welcome in. Glad that you are here. Are you new to us? I don't recognize you, but that doesn't mean you haven't been around. I'm still on vacation brain, so I apologize if you've checked out our channel before. They have a new disembarkation process where you go have breakfast and then you sit in your room and you watch channel 2 and wait for your tag. You are. Oh, fantastic. We're so glad that you're here. Okay, I'll show that in a second. You wait for the TV to say now calling, and it'll change on the number. And so our time to disembark was actually 7:40, but we were actually off our number was called by 7:15. So we were actually off the boat, through baggage, through customs, and officially out of the terminal by 7:20. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, if you don't have a passport, it's going to take you forever to get through customs. I argue that because I did it. Literally, I have a binder, my husband's prior service, and one of the things that we always needed to know where it was our birth certificate, marriage certificate, social security cards, all that kind of stuff. I have a binder with it. All I did was I took the binder with me. And I literally, when we got on the boat, they wanted to see birth certificate or passport and photo ID. I showed her both of our IDs, and I went, here's my birth certificate, here's my marriage certificate, here's his birth certificate. She waved us onto the boat. Great. I was going, okay, hopefully it's that easy getting off. Literally, I handed the customs guy my binder and our IDs, and he went, bye. He's like, okay. He's like, you're really organized. And I'm like, he's prior service. And they went, Okay. So it was super simple to get off, and we were off the boat by 7:25. So I will share this, and then I will go back to telling about the
So
other.
you don't have to have a passport when you go cruising?
No, if you are going on what they call a closed loop cruise, a closed loop cruise means that you are departing and arriving into the same port. Like we left and came back into Miami. You do not have to have a passport. They recommend you have a passport just in case you get sick and you have to leave the boat or there's an emergency that comes up. It makes it more difficult because you can't fly and you have to get emergency transportation through the American Embassy. But you can cruise with just a photo ID and a copy of your birth certificate. If you are married, you also need to have your marriage certificate because your birth certificate and your ID are two different names.
Right. Okay. So this item that Frugal
go.
Granny, this item right here, this is what I was talking about. This is the travel size. It's $18. It's one I've been using for the past 2 months, so it lasts a long time. The girl in the picture, she's the lady, excuse me, in the picture, she's she's using way too much. They do that for picture reasons. You don't really need that much. But the little metal piece just rolls right under your eye. It's cool. It helps to diminish any puffiness. And I don't know if you can see the difference between the eyes up at the top from a before and after. It gets rid of the dark circles and fine lines as well. And I usually use this daily. I have 2 different eye creams. I have one that I use at night and one that I use at morning. This is the one I use in the morning. And like I said, I was lazy this morning. I didn't even wash my face this morning. Don't tell anybody. I normally do, but I didn't because when I washed it last night, I washed it really, really good, and I put all the cream on it, and it still felt clean. So I didn't bother washing it again. And it was like 10 o'clock last night when I washed it, and I get up at like 4 o'clock. So I was like, I didn't, but I typically do. But yeah, this right here, I love it. I use it all the time. This travel size is not much smaller than that full size one, and it costs way less. So I would do the travel size. It's just my opinion. If you would like to try that out, I like it. I use it all the time. And then of course the jade rollers, you can get one at the dollar store. They fall apart quicker. The one I got was like $5 on Amazon, and I've had it for a couple of years and it hasn't fallen apart. So do you want to spend $1 at the dollar store, or do you want to spend $5 and get one that'll last longer? It's up to you. But yeah, the jade rollers are nice too. They get rid of puffiness. I use them right under my eyes. I also use them down here. Like the jade rollers are just so cold and they feel so good. And you can stick them in your refrigerator too if you want, and then use it out of the refrigerator. But it's cold even without that. But this is my go-to for any kind of bags, puffiness, dark circles. Love it.
Awesome. I'm looking at that myself.
So you can get it so you cannot get it at Sephora because companies have agreements with the companies that resell stuff like Sephora and Ulta. So certain things from each company will go to certain stores. Like the C collection from Tarte is exclusive to Sephora. That jade roller or that eye cream is exclusive to Ulta. You can get it at the Tarte website, but you can also get it at Ulta.
And if you go to places like Ulta or Sephora, make sure to sign up for their free rewards program, because as you shop, you get points and you can redeem them for free items. Plus, you'll be able to get free items the month of your birthday.
Yeah. And you sign up for their emails. They'll send you emails whenever they're having spend this much, get a free this. And that's actually how I've found a lot of items that I like, other than my Boxy Charm box. But a lot of brands, when you spend, I think it's like $40, and it's easy to spend $40, you can get a free kit that has a bunch of sample size things. And I've found things that I really like in those sample size things. Some of them you're just kind of like, oh, well, I'm not going to use this, or some of the stuff. But it's a free, and it gives you a free makeup bag too if you ever want to use it. And those sample size things are really good to test out to see if you like. That's how I found. It was a foundation. What foundation is it? I don't know. It's how I found one of the foundations that I like. I use like 3 different foundations, not together, but I have like 3 different brands, and I rotate between them depending on what kind of coverage I want and what skin tone I have at the time, because skin tone changes.
And then if you are on Facebook and or Instagram, lately, since the whole we have to stay home thing, companies weren't able to promote their new products. And so I have found, and Christy has not gotten as many of these as I have, which is I find very funny. They offer you free samples by mail. Now, sometimes you'll get something like this that's like a little card, and it's got like a one-time like little sample use of a cologne. Sometimes you will get a travel size product like this one. This is from Lancome, and it's their Monsieur Big. It's a mascara. And anytime I see on Instagram or on Facebook a free cologne, free product, I grab it up and I keep them in my stuff, because if I'm traveling and I don't plan to take on a check-on bag, you only have that small quart-sized Ziploc bag to put your cosmetics in. So I can put a small travel mascara in there instead of a large one. I can take several of these little cards that aren't going to take up much space and kind of slide it around stuff, and I've got cologne. Sometimes you'll even get, let's see if I have one on most of my cosmetics are laying here on my desk. But like the little trial size that you get at the cosmetics counter of perfume. And so all you have to do is slide those in your bag, and you have plenty for a trip. And it was free.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely make sure to take advantage of those too if they pop up on your social media. So Friday we were off the boat by 7:25. Our parking garage transportation picked us up about 5 till 8, and it took us about 5 minutes to get from the port to the parking garage. It was about a mile away. And we loaded our car and we headed off to Orlando, and we spent the day in Disney Springs, and we went to Pop Century. Pop Century is our favorite resort. We love it. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be staying there on our next trip for a couple reasons. Number one, it was already booked because we have changed our mind way too many times on this vacation. And number two, it is on the Skyliner, and I don't like heights like that. It scares me to the point of a panic attack, especially with the Skyliner having had a couple crashes. I mean, I know that it's not likely to happen while I'm on it, but try telling my brain that.
If they do, they give you a free day.
You know what? I would be the person jumping out of that Skyliner and taking my chances to not die on the ground. Just saying. But so we are staying at All Star Music, which is a new resort for us. We stayed at All Star Movies for one night on our very first trip. So we are really excited about that. I've enjoyed the live streams. Have to get back to work. I'm ready. Well, Frugal Granny, thanks so much for coming to hang out with us this morning. We are live every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. So during the school year, I've got about a month before I head back to school. So we hope that you'll come join us again on another Wednesday morning. And make sure to check out Christy's channel. We spent the morning at Disney Springs. I got my Gideon's cookie. We've eaten part of it. It's in our refrigerator right now.
How was it?
It was fantastic, and they're massive. And when they get cold, they get hard. So if you want a weapon, chill your Gideon's cookie, and you can whap somebody with it.
So basically, eat it as soon as I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I plan to get one while I'm there. My first night, I'm going to. Because my first day there is at the water park in Universal. And, you know, I'm not going to stay there till close. And even if I do, they close at like 6. So my first night, I'm going to go over to Disney Springs and eat at Wine Bar George and
It's right across from Gideon's. What you'll need to do is, because Gideon's is massively popular, you will have to get a wait time. It's right in front, so you'll see a line, and you'll go in front, and you'll give them your phone number and your name, and they will send you a text message to confirm your phone number, and then they'll tell you, oh, it's going to be a 60-minute wait, it's going to be an 80-minute wait. We'll text you when you've got about 10 minutes left to go of your wait time to go.
So I could literally go put my name down to wait, and then go to my Wine Bar George reservations.
Definitely recommend that, because that's what we did. We put our name in, and we went to Chicken Guy. We had Chicken Guy on our trip in 19. We went with our friends, Jeff and Angela of Does Our Dream. And we were like, we remembered it being so good, but we're like, okay, we were extremely tired. Our flight had been delayed 9 hours. Any food at that point was going to taste good. Was it really as good as we remembered it? Oh yeah, it was just that good. We had the chicken strips, and
Christine's staying at the Stars in December. Frugal Granny, we're so glad you love us. Thank you.
And
you have a good day too. And Granny's fingers are crossed that they don't cut the virtual wait before you arrive, right? I don't want to stand in line for an hour and a half.
Yeah, they I think we were only in line maybe 15 minutes outside, and then you go inside. It's a really small area in there. It is not large. They do have a maximum of 6 cookies per person. That's 3 pounds.
I'm not gonna get 6 cookies. I'm gonna get 1, maybe 2.
Well, and they're $6 a piece plus tax. And so I think we paid $6.25 for 1 cookie, and you could split it with, like, if you and like a couple other people are going, each get a different cookie, cut it into fourths, and you each have a cookie. It's very cool themed. It's kind of a gothic feel to it.
I've seen pictures. It looks kind of Harry Potter-ish.
Harry Potter meets gothic meets haunted mansion. So it's very interesting. And definitely, well, I've got video coming of that too.
Do they have, because when I see pictures of them, I see salt on them, and I love salt on cookies.
Yes.
Good.
They have, and I'm trying to see if I have that card close. They give you a card, and it says Gideon's on the front. It has a picture, and on the back, it'll tell you like what their most popular cookies are, and then what their cookie of the month is. Like right now, they're doing a Florida flavors event through beginning of August, and so it was like a chocolate chip key lime cookie was the cookie right now because it's part of that event. And they had a key lime cake, I think. But we just got the cookie. We didn't end up eating the cookie until we got home because we were so sunburnt that we didn't want anything really sweet. But we had Chicken Guy, and the line for that even went really fast. We stood in line for maybe about 15 minutes. It is in the direct sun, which we're like, oh, hot. But it was really quick once we went inside. Literally, it was like 2 minutes and we had our food. They are keeping right on top of making sure that the strips just keep getting cooked. And they're real thin. They're maybe about that thick. And they're a normal chicken strip size, but they're really good.
Yeah, I heard that their best thing is their sauces.
Oh my gosh.
Sauces. And to go back to Gideon, sorry. I think when I go, I'll probably get the chocolate chip cookie because that's just like my thing. And then I'll probably get whatever the special is, as long as it's one that I think I might like. If it's going to have cinnamon in it, obviously I'm not getting it. Or if it's got like, I'm not a peanut butter fan, so I'm not going to get a peanut butter one or anything like that.
Right.
But I have heard that they've got some sort of coffee there that's
Yes.
super good. So I might get that too.
I think they have a coffee drink of the month or something. I think.
Have you eaten at Polite Pig?
I have not. It's on our list though to do when we are there in the Christmas time.
It's super crowded. It's super trendy. But when we went, we got like you can do a appetizer. It's like pick 3 appetizer type thing. And we both did that, and we got 6 different flavors of stuff. And we liked everything except for I think it was barbecue cauliflower. We weren't crazy about that.
Isn't Polite Pig a quick service?
It is a quick service, yes.
See, because when I went to Universal last November, I did in City Walk. I did a progressive dinner. I had appetizers at I had appetizers at Hard Rock. I had main meal at Margaritaville, and then I got dessert at Toothsomes and Voodoo Donuts.
Ooh, Toothsomes is my favorite.
And so Sam and I talked about doing that at Disney Springs and doing it 2 ways, doing a quick service one and doing a sit down one. In the chat, is that something that you guys would like to see? Because that video actually had a pretty good response. So I want to know if that's something that you guys would like to see of Disney Springs. Or you're like, no, I don't really care about the quick service. We only care about the table service. We'd rather you do 2 of those. Let me know. Randy goes, on topic for Disney Springs, have either of you eaten at Raglan Road? I have not.
No.
We had plans to eat there on which trip was it? Had to be 2017. It's very hit or miss if the dining plan worked, and so because it didn't, we ended up not eating there. It's something that we might check back out in the future, but I've not eaten there.
I've eaten at the Edison, at Enzo's Hideaway. Where else? What's that sub shop?
Earl Sandwich?
Yeah, I've eaten there 3 times. 2 or 3 times.
I've heard the Earl Sandwich it's decent.
I mean, I personally like Firehouse subs way better. And Earl Sandwich is more expensive. You're paying like $14 for a freaking salad. It's ridiculous. And I don't know. I also like Which better, and I got pretty much every sub place you can think of except for Subway is better. Subway's too bready. So pretty much every, and this is just my personal experience of eating there a few times.
Yeah. Says, I love Polite Pig. And see, I really want to try Polite Pig. We talked about doing Polite Pig, but like I said, I look better now. I'm more tan than I was, but you can still see that I'm slightly red. I was like the same red as my shirt when we were walking around Disney Springs. And like stupid people, we didn't apply more sunscreen.
Oh, Deluxe Burger. Deluxe Burger is a really good quick service burger place.
Okay, so Polite Pig for appetizer and Deluxe Burger for main dish and sprinkles for dessert.
I've never had sprinkles. I haven't
had any of those, so I would have no expectations.
I've had the ganachery, which is really good.
I've heard a ganache and amarettes are phenomenal.
They're both very good. But I've never had sprinkles. Everybody's like obsessed with sprinkles.
Not gonna lie, I want to try out the cupcake ATM.
I feel like it would be stale.
There's somebody actually putting it in the ATM. Is what I was told.
So when you're purchasing it,
it's a walk-up window.
Okay, it's just interesting, I guess.
And
I've had the poutine at that poutine place.
Okay, Sam wants to try the poutine. We talked about it, but Sam's like, I just think it's too hot for poutine right now.
I got mine in October. I got the thank you poutine, like the Thanksgiving themed one in October. It was so good.
See,
new donut place. I don't like donuts.
Yeah, it's called Everglazed. It's by the AMC Theater. It had
over there by the Orange Garage.
Yeah, it had a really long line. I know that some people have said it's better than Voodoo Donuts.
So for anyone that's not familiar with Disney Springs, there's two garages. There's the Lime Garage and Orange Garage. The Lime Garage is over near where all the more Disney stuff is, like World of Disney, the Poutine Place, Amorette's is over there, the Lego store is over there. Yeah. And then the Orange Garage is over by like the fancier restaurants like Gideon's and Wine Bar George and things like that.
And the Disney transportation is kind of right in the center.
Yeah.
The buses are right in the center. Christine, good information on Raglan Road. It looks like a fun spot to eat. I think it looks like a fun spot to eat. Just when they bring the dining plan back, hopefully it works better. Christine says that she's eaten at Raglan Road and it was good. Randy says, wife got a peanut butter cold coffee. I was like, that's nasty. She offered me a drink and I'm like, hey, that's really great. He likes Polite Pig and he'd watch The Progressive Meal. He says Art Smith's is great and the Boathouse was good. Ate at Earl as well. I've heard really good things about the Boathouse from Lou Mangello. He is the WDW radio, and we listened to like four of his podcasts on the way home. I miss surface parking, LOL. They have taken up pretty much all of the bottom floor parking. And turned it into a walkway, like to go through security for Disney Springs.
She gone. Blue Raz with the duck drink is strong. I miss surface. Okay. What's the other thing? I don't know if they're still doing social distancing in Disney Springs, but
not really. It was busy when we were there. Like, it was packed. It was great to see. See, I don't mind it so much. Adventures of Gonzo, good morning.
Hey, Gonzo.
You guys did not want to watch me and listen to me blow my nose.
I was wondering what you were doing. I was like, where'd she
go? No social distancing whatsoever. Yeah, pretty much none. To me, it's fine. You know, like I said, I work with kids. I'm snotted, sneezed, hungover all the time. So it really doesn't faze me any.
Are they still, like, limiting how many people get into the stores, though? Because we had to wait for, like, an hour to get in World of Disney.
Mm-mm. They have one entrance and, like, they have, like, one or two of the door sections are designated entry and couple are designated exit. Here's how much the hand scrub station at Basin is back.
Oh, okay.
Sam and I cried. My husband and I cried over a hand washing scrub. It was great.
I love using their hand. I actually still have. So when we went in 2018, and I've been in 2019, I've been twice in 2020. I got the unicorn hand and body scrub. And I still have it. I'm almost out. So when I go in September, I'll get some more.
Sam, this is like the best deal that you can get at Basin. They have a tube, and I'm going to grab it real quick because it's right over here.
Is it the salts, bath salts?
No, it's the bath bomb.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I like the bath salt tubes. I just finished off one of them.
This is a bath bomb tube. This is $25 plus tax, and it will fit 2 large, 2 medium, and 2 small of their bath bombs for $25. Sam is like, let's each splurge, and we'll each pick 3. And one of the employees overheard, and she goes, you know you can do that cheaper, right? And we kind of looked at her, and she goes, get one of our, tubes. And she explained it. She's like, you can each pick a large, medium, and small. So we did that, and it was like sticking over the top. And I went back to her and I said, okay, there has to be a trick to this. She goes, oh yeah, I'll take care of it. She starts banging the thing on the counter. And she takes everything out. And she goes, okay, these are too round. You need flatter ones. So literally she's got everything laid out on this table and she's walking around and changing out our bombs the same sense that we wanted. But like instead of being this big rounded, it's more flat. It was flatter on the top. And she's just banging this too. And everyone's looking around like, what is that noise? But they all fit. It all fits. So if you do the bath bomb too, make sure to take it to an employee and have them kind of bang it and get it all situated for you. And then the lids are at the register. So they'll give you a sheet. It'll look kind of like this. It'll have all of the different scents and it's marked what's on it so they can just input it into the computer. And then they will put the lid on your tube. And if you are military or you get 15% off.
Also, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they have like a little card that they send you called Magical Extras if you're staying at the resort. Mm-hmm. And it will give you 10 or 15% off there too.
Yep.
Or if they have a little scavenger hunt going on at the time, like we did one called Find Stitch. Any place that is sponsoring that, meaning if you like, it's a little card, you walk around. If you go in there and you find Stitch and notate it, you don't have to find them all. But if you find them in that building, they'll give you a discount too.
Yep. And they also do annual pass holder discounts.
Yeah.
So
if you have an annual pass holder friend,
right,
which I do, sometimes if you get like a screenshot of their pass, they won't like really check to see whose it is, and they'll give you the discount. Some places will, some places won't.
If you are military, your odds are better to get a discount in Disney Springs as in the parks because they're third-party companies that will give them anyway. But the Basin at Grand Floridian also does the military discount because it's its own separate entity. It's just inside of the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
Have a good day at work, Gonzo.
With the Starbucks checks to see if that person's with you. So you can't get the pass holder discount if that person's not with you. So Starbucks won't do it. But every gift shop I went to in Walt Disney World and at Disney Springs gave me the discount, the like pass holder discount, even though the person wasn't with me.
Christy.
Just like I did try at Starbucks though in Magic Kingdom. I was like, oh, she's over in line at what did I say, Space Mountain. We're headed that way now. That's why I'm getting 3 drinks and not just 2. And they're like, yeah, they have to be with you. I was like, but I was getting 3 drinks because there was one that we both wanted, but we both wanted separate ones, so we got 3 drinks.
So you were with them, just not with them at that moment.
I wasn't with them. No.
Christy.
What?
We do not endorse that.
Shh. Sorry, it was secret.
So anyway, we did an Expedia Express deal, and it was for Rosen Inn International, and it's like right across the street from Universal. Don't highly recommend it. If you need some place for like a one-night stay and, like the cheap dockside, surfside are booked up at Universal, then it would be like good for like you just need a room. You're not planning to be in there for a while. Then it would be okay. The beds were comfortable and it was clean. It just wasn't the greatest. It kind of didn't seem like it was in a great area. And which was sad because I'd seen other vloggers stay there. And they really liked it. They'd stayed there multiple times. I don't know, maybe if it's under new management or something, or if it's the oldest one and it just hasn't been updated yet. Not quite sure what was going on, but like the handle of our door didn't really want to work. The toilet was like horrible, like for pressure. I went to the bathroom and we had to call floor plunger. And it wasn't even that much of going to the bathroom. I was thinking, oh great, I'm glad Sam didn't go to the bathroom because then we would have had a mess. The stopper on the tub didn't want to stay up, so you'd have to like hold it open with your toes so the tub would drain while you were showering. So it wasn't the greatest of rooms. So definitely if you have to stay somewhere and you need somewhere cheap, I guess it would be okay. For long term, definitely for something else. And then we drove back. We drove straight through from Orlando back home. We left at about 7 a.m. on Saturday and got in about 7 a.m. on Sunday. Something to note, and this is very important if you are going on a cruise. If you are planning to put your debit card on file, don't. They do have to have a card on file, and they charge an initial hold of $100. Don't go over that $100 or have cash to put on your account or a gift card. Good morning, Timothy Rainwaters. Welcome in.
Hi, Timothy.
Here is why. With a debit card, they do pre-authorizations. They had pre-authorized that $100, and then we went $118 over that $100, which was fine. We had that budgeted for. So it had come out on Thursday night. We're like, great, here's what we have left, la. We had stopped for gas Saturday morning, and I was checking through my email, and 30 minutes earlier, I'd got an email from Bank of America stating that I had a low account balance. And I'm like, what do you mean I have a low account balance? I should have like $200 and $300 in my bank account. Here's what happens. Cruise lines will pre-authorize your card on the cruise ship. Then they will fully authorize the same amount once you are off the cruise ship by 24 hours. That was our gas money to get home. So I was in a panic. And I'm like, we had budgeted everything out. We were totally fine. And here we are, $60 in the bank. And we still have, 1,500 miles left to go. And so between Royal Caribbean, which is where we were at, and Bank of America, I was on the phone with both of them, on hold, merged call. They're like, there's really nothing we can do because it's a pre-authorization. And Royal Caribbean goes, yeah, and it could take up to 45 days to release the pre-authorizations back. Okay. So I'm in tears going down the road. And Sam's like, it'll be fine. If we have to, we'll pull off in a truck stop we had never planned to stay the night anywhere. So that did help. He's like, we can take a nap. We can get some sleep in a truck stop. We had a $50 hold from Rosen. That should come back into the account on Sunday, and we can finish going. He's like, if you need to, call and talk to your mom. It's all going to be okay. So I called and I was talking to my mom, and I was telling her what was going on. And she was still at home. She wasn't doing respite care stuff yet. And she's like, hold on. And she's figuring out how to put her phone on speaker so that we can talk. Sam and I can talk to her and Dad, because we were on our car phone. And I'm like, Mom, could you PayPal us like $100? That'll get us home. And she's like, well, will that get you food and stuff? I'm like, yeah, that'll be plenty, Mom. So I literally talked my mom through how to send PayPal. I just sent her a request and she did it. I had to pay that little fee, so I think we ended up with like $96 and change. But let me tell you, the only reason I had that PayPal debit card on me was because I had been paid from the travel agency on Friday. And when we were out running around, I used some of that money to buy a few things that we were going to need. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even had that card on me. But Mom and Dad were like, okay, if that hadn't worked, we would have had you stop at the nearest Walmart, and we would have driven to Walmart, and we would have done one of those Western Union things. She's like, oh, no, you're going to be fine. Everyone was trying to talk me down from having a panic attack / seizure in the car going down the road. So my number one recommendation, if you're going on a cruise. Because from what Bank of America told me, this is something that's done across the board on all of the cruise ships. They require you to have a card on file. That's a new thing for them. But anything over whatever that pre-authorization is, put cash on your account when you walk onto the boat. Walk in and put money on a gift card and put it on your account. Don't bet on that debit card or credit card. All I could think of after like my brain finally settled down was, oh my gosh, the people who bought drinks and bought jewelry and all that kind of stuff and had a debit card on file. That's all I could think about. I was like, oh my gosh, they're literally screwed. So learn from my mistake. And let me tell you, because we have several of our other agency gals and guys going, and they're like, we're going to take a leaf out of Lena's book and not use our debit card on the boat. I'm like, good idea. So I wish that someone had told me that information before I went, because otherwise we would have stopped at like a Publix or something and looked for a gift card and just put it on the account. It would have been so much more easier and less stressful.
I just opened like 500 windows and didn't even realize it.
I was wondering what the look of concentration was for.
Well, you know what I do in the mornings.
True. So
it's cold.
Oh, sad.
But it tastes like what was the flavor? It's bourbon something. It's good.
Card holds are the devil. So Sam, and even when we checked our local Dillons, and they only had Carnival and Norwegian Cruise Line. They didn't have any Royal Caribbean gift cards. Otherwise, we would have picked one up. So it was an interesting experience, and I'm glad that I could take the hit on that instead of a client taking the hit on that.
Yeah.
Please learn from our trip. I appreciate the 5 people who are still hanging out with us. Do you have any questions about the cruise? Anything that you want to know? Do you have any other questions about anything else that we've talked about? Or do you want us to keep rambling for a little while longer?
I can ramble a little bit while people are answering.
Sure, go for
question. So the other day, I was on a call, like a visual call, like kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And my computer needed to restart. And I was also typing to somebody, and apparently my concentration face is RBF because he screenshot my picture when it froze because my computer was restarting, texted it to me and was like, you're mean mugging us. And I was like, oh, that must be RBF. I was typing to you. And he's like, well, it's a good thing you're not always smiley because I don't trust people who are always smiley.
That's hilarious.
I was like, yeah, well, that picture's not great. I wonder if I still have it. Let me see.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm sure I do. Yep. Oh, hold on. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Okay, that looks like evil. That's hilarious.
He's like, you're mean mugging everybody. And I was like, I was typing.
Sorry.
Oh, well.
So our plan, if you figured out that we're going to be there for marathon weekend, you'll kind of have an idea of our dates. But the day that we get there, we are going to spend the evening in Disney Springs. And then we are taking that's the wrong one. That is the old one. And then the the 20 something. I almost said date. The next 3 days are going to be Epcot because we want to get in some Festival of the Holidays before it ends. So since we're going around the holidays, it ends on the 30th. We're going to spend a day in Magic Kingdom. We're going to do a day in Animal Kingdom. It'll probably be a half day. We're not huge Animal Kingdom people, but one of our friends works there and we want to see them. And then just kind of be able to relax and stuff. Then we have kind of an open day. Then we're going to go to Studios, have another open day, Magic Kingdom, an open day, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and come home. So, and that is always subject to kind of change. We may end up lessening the tickets that we have and kind of having more relaxation days in there. But right now we have 10-day tickets. What we're hoping for, fingers crossed, is that annual pass holder rates are open for everybody. Because I could have mine renewed, but Sam wouldn't be able to have his renewed.
I would like to get an annual pass.
Well, yeah, you're only 12 hours. You could drive there for a 3-day weekend.
I have a Universal annual pass. I would like a Disney one.
So.
But I wouldn't get the most expensive one because I'm never going to be there. So I would get like the one that has all the blackout dates, and I would just schedule around those blackout dates.
Because you are out of state, there's only 2 that you can get. Mm-hmm. You can't get the one with all the blackout dates.
Oh.
They get you on that.
Yeah.
They do. But
they still have blackout dates, right?
No.
Like out-of-staters don't have blackout dates at all?
Uh-uh.
So I guess it's either the park ones or the Park Plus ones where you also do the water park.
Yeah, but I don't think they have the water park pass right now. The people are saying that when they renewed, they weren't able, because you could still renew, you weren't able to have the water park portion on it anymore.
Well, it saved those people money.
Right? So. I'm still doing laundry and stuff from the cruise. That should be done this week. I go back to school in a month. A month from Friday. Yep. I go back on the 16th. The 16th and 17th are in-service days for me. And then 18th, all the kids come back. So
when summer first started, I was like, man, I can't wait for these kids to go back to school. But they've gotten in the habit of like not disturbing us too much during work. So I'm actually fine with them being here.
We have 4 coffee corners after this until I go back to work.
Randy's ready for his kids to go back to school.
I've heard a lot of parents are like, I'm ready for the kids to go back to school, and we're going, you have another month yet. Don't get too anxious.
Well, I don't mind them. Like at first, like I said, I was like, ugh, but I don't mind it now. But the thing is like our school always is just like asking for money. And I get it. Teachers can't buy all this stuff for everybody. I completely understand that. But it gets really, really frustrating when you send your kid with everything they need plus extra for the school, and then a month later they're like, oh, we're out of this, we need you to send it. I'm like, no, you ask a parent that didn't send anything, because I've already spent $200 on school supplies for one kid.
When the military has what's called family readiness groups. It's family support. And I was in charge of that when Sam was in the Guard for about 5-6 years. And one of the things that I always did was I helped put together school supply bags for the soldiers. It was all Dollar Tree stuff, unless somebody donated other stuff. But I mean, Dollar Tree started to get in more name brand stuff. But so I would contact the school district and tell them I needed a school supply list, and they would email it to me. One of the school districts required a case of printer paper per student.
Why?
Like one of those big boxes of printer paper from like Staples per student. They said because we aren't providing our teachers with copy paper this year. Each teacher's has to provide their own printer and ink, and so the students have to provide paper. And I went to the soldier and I said, I can't do that. I don't have I don't have the funds to do that. I said, 2, there's just no way. And they went, we need what? They called, like, it was a Saturday, so obviously they couldn't get a hold of the district, but they're like, I'm calling the school district on Monday and telling them there's no way. Those are like $75 to $100. They're like, no, we pay enrollment fees for that kind of stuff. But we're not buying the school cases and cases of paper.
Yeah.
If you figure 400 students in a school, that's 400 cases of paper. I doubt they use that much in a year. Now, I could be wrong, because I know I've made my own fair share of copies in my day, even as a sub. But still, it's insane sometimes what the school supply lists are.
Yeah, Randy, the routine. Yeah, I mean, I will say they've gotten in the habit of staying up really late, and my oldest likes to sneak downstairs and steal food out of the kitchen, so we had to turn the notification thing on. Not that we don't want him to eat. He can eat. He needs to eat. But he'll sneak down here, get food out of the kitchen, take it upstairs, eat it, and leave the trash in his room, which is not good. So we had to turn the cameras on to notify us when there's movement down here. And last night I got up in the middle of the night. I have like a hurt finger and got a Band-Aid, and I think I woke everybody up because he goes, there is motion in your kitchen or whatever. I said, oops. But okay. Yeah, them staying up late needs to stop, and they need to get back on their routine.
Yeah. Like this is for this school year. This is the first grade school supply list. It says, please do not label items as items will be collected and used communally.
I label them anyway. We get that too, and I'm always labeling them. I'm like, no, because for one, there's a big difference between off-brand and name-brand crayons.
Yeah.
I don't care about scissors. I don't care about glue, but crayons, there's a big difference. So I make sure to buy my kid the name brand because those off-brands crappy suck.
Our school actually requires Crayola. And if you don't send Crayola, they will send them home with a note that says this is not what we asked you to send. And they
literally label every single crayon. Yeah. I get my label maker out. Yep, I'm a nerd. I have a label maker. And I literally print off a label for every single crayon and put that on every single crayon and then back in the box. And then I label the front and the back of the box. I label everything. And then when you get to the like 3-ring binders, because I learned this before, I let Presley pick the color out because frankly, they're the same price whether you get white, black, or pink.
Yeah.
So I let her pick the color out, and then I put the label on it, and I sent it, and she came home with a different binder. It was like, it had your name on it. Well, they said I didn't have any. They gave me this one. I was like, I sent 3, and you're only required to have 2. So now I put the label on there, and then I tape over the label, and I'll just like wrap that crap up. And I'm like, these people, I'm tired of it. I'm not spending $200 per child for school supplies for something to go to somebody else. Sorry. I'm selfish. I don't want to spend $200 on your child. I want to spend $200 on my child. My
They
2
had
cents.
24 pre-sharpened number 2 pencils,
Yeah.
1 large eraser, 1 box of crayons, Crayola.
I sent 24 pencils to school
Yeah.
at the beginning of the school year last year. I got a month later. She needs pencils. How the crap did she go through 24 pencils? She didn't. You gave my pencils away, and they had her name on them.
And see, that's the one thing I don't like about community supplies. They seem to run out faster.
Because the kids are taking them home and leaving them or breaking them or whatever.
Well, when one of the teachers for middle school, I think the last 3 weeks of school, he ran out of pencils. Between myself, the other para, and him. Somebody had given him a shoebox tub of pencils. Like, they had one of those like bundle deals off of Amazon that it was like random businesses and stuff that you see. If somebody had given him a big tub of pencils, he was out of them. And all you heard was "Ner, ner," because they're sharpening them and they're holding them in there until they're like this big. And they're like, my pencil's gone. And it's like, you just sharpened half of it away.
Yeah.
He told him, he's like, you guys will be required to have Everleads next year. And they looked at him and went, what's an Everlead? Mechanical pencil, clicky pencil. And they're like, just call it a clicky pencil. That's what it is. Actually, it's technically called an Everlead. He is correct. But yeah, then you have to have 2 containers of disinfectant wipes, 2 boxes of Kleenex, 1 box of gallon size, 1 box of quart size, 1 box of snack size zipper bags, 1 box of Dixie cups, 1 package of 50 solo cups, 6 pocket folders.
What are they drinking in these solo cups?
Probably using for science.
Oh.
PE shoes to be kept at school, and a backpack.
No. I am not sending shoes to stay at the school. Shoes are expensive, and somebody will be like, oh, you didn't bring shoes here, use theirs, and then you never see them again. That's BS.
Yep, each student has to have a pair of PE-only tennis shoes that stay in their locker.
No. Because my son does cross country, and he literally takes his bag with him daily to do cross country, puts it in his locker, and it still gets stolen. He had his pair of $180 pair of running shoes, because running shoes are expensive. He had them for 2 days and they were stolen. I mean, no, we're not playing that game.
And the funny thing is from 1st grade to 2nd grade, it's please label all your items. Please do not send glue pens. Please do not send trapper keepers. Please do not send mechanical pencils. And it completely changes from 1st grade to 2nd grade. Yeah, it's pretty much $20 tennis shoes that they don't have rocks in them to ruin the gym floor. But
so I'm okay with like bring in a gallon of hand sanitizer. Man, they go through that crap like crazy. I'll bring you 2 gallons. I don't care. I'm okay with bring 1 box of tissues. I'm bringing you the whole pack, the ones that come with 3. You get all 3 of them. I'm not labeling that crap. I know that's communal. But when it comes to crayons, markers, glue sticks, colored pencils, notebook paper, 3-ring binders, that stuff's labeled, and you better not give my crap to another kid. Their parents can afford 55 cents for a freaking 3-ring binder.
In 6th grade, because there's only 2 classrooms of 6th grade. This year, I think there might be 3. And they only go through those classrooms. Their notebook paper actually is communal. I had never, they open up a couple packages and stick it in a tray. They don't keep any on their own. And people are like one day their kids are like, Mrs. Hall. I'm like, what? They're like, some of the good notebook papers in the tray. And I'm like, notebook paper, what are you talking about? Like,
what's a good notebook paper versus non-good notebook paper?
Apparently the bad notebook paper is the really thin stuff like I use, And the good notebook paper, it's like a thicker notebook. I actually could tell the difference writing on it. It's a little bit thicker, and it's perforated at the holes, so it can't tear out real easy.
Okay.
So there actually was a writing difference on it.
So there's a different, because I know that the difference in the crayons.
Yeah, there is difference in the paper too. It's like it's maybe the thickness of like 2 pieces of paper instead of like where this is really thin and it can rip real easy. Yeah. It would be the thickness of 2, and it's perforated all like up to the red line and over. And it's actually, I liked it better. I was like, oh, okay. Because I had to take notes. And they're like, Mrs. Hall, you have to try this notebook paper. And I'm like, it's notebook paper. No, it actually was better notebook paper. So I actually went to Walmart and bought myself some. Because I'm like, hey, this is
I don't blame you.
If I have to take my own notes, I'm using good notebook paper.
Yeah, I really didn't know that there was a difference in notebook paper, but that's good to know.
5-star, then somebody had bought 5-star notebook paper and probably like you was not happy that it became communal notebook paper.
I don't buy the 5-star stuff. I buy like the 52-cent pack, which is probably the thin one that nobody likes.
But no, I'm saying they probably didn't expect their 5-star notebook paper that they bought for their student to be put in a communal tray.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that parent probably felt the same way as you did.
Know your way around that. Get your label maker, open that pack of 100 sheets and put your kid's name on every single sheet. Because you can't tear that off without it messing the paper up.
Okay, so we know in the future we're going to see Christy on a video label making her kids' notebook paper.
Yeah, man, I do that. Like, I will do that. I put it in places that I know that if they try to tear it off, it will mess up the item. I always do that. I'm like, you're not sending my stuff to somebody else's kid. I'm anal like that. I just get so irritated. I spend days labeling every single item. And I mean every single item. When I say I label everything, not only do I label the marker, I label the marker lid. I put a label on the marker and the lid. Like, well, because if she comes home and she's like, well, my marker's right out because I don't know what happened to the lid. Well, the lid's got your name on it. You better find out what happened to it.
He's like, Christy, don't play.
No, I don't play that game. I do not play that game. The thing is like, someone can argue, well, what if they can't afford it? Honey, I've been there. I've been to the point to where I had to literally eat baby food that was left over because I couldn't afford to go buy food. If you can't go get 52 cents worth of paper, then you need to be on some sort of assistance, and then they provide that for you. Don't rely on everybody else to get it for you. That's just my thing.
I know our food bank, it was actually at the end of the school year last year. They gave out sheets, and the kids took them home, and it was to fill out and turn back into the office if you were going to need assistance with school supplies for the following school year. And I know that was for Mary, and that was across the board K through 12. I know for Hillsboro, one of the churches actually started it last year, and they ended up with enough to do kindergarten through 8th grade, I think. And they just did a donation drive for school supplies, and they were able to fully give every student school supplies. And it wasn't Dollar Tree. It was Crayola. And
that's the other thing. Instead of sitting there saying, we're going to put it in communal, if you want to do a school supplies drive, I'm okay with that. I will put stuff in there, but don't take the stuff that I specifically bought for my kid and give it to somebody else's kid. That pisses me off. But if you want to do a school supplies drive, I'm all for it. If you want to say, like, if you want to send a list of the stuff the teacher needs, because I understand that the school doesn't supply the stuff that the teacher needs, and the teacher needs dry erase markers, the teacher needs hand sanitizer, the teacher needs college rule notebook paper, which I get the teachers use that. I'm okay with that too. But stop giving my kids stuff to another kid.
Mm-hmm.
It irritates me.
I think it was probably about, I was subbing when they started this, so it's about 10 years ago. Where our elementary school where I work, a couple of the teachers are like, I have so much Bath and Body Works shampoo or Bath and Body Works lotion and body wash and gift cards that it's coming out of my ears. I don't need that kind of stuff for my birthday or for Christmas. And so the teachers at the beginning of the year sent out, so a couple of them did it, and now all of them do it. They sent a letter home to parents that said, my birthday is on X day. If you wish to send something, here is a list of supplies that we go through quickly on a regular basis. If you would like to send this for a gift, that would be very much appreciated. At Christmas, we have a big paper tree in the main hallway of the school, and each teacher gets 6 ornaments, like paper ornaments. Excuse me. And they write 6 things that they would need on them for the second half of the school year. And they put them on the tree. It doesn't have to be your teacher. You can, and because some teachers will put like, I need up to 10 packages of college ruled notebook paper, or I need 4 boxes of crayons, or whatever they put on there. And people can just go take whatever they want off of the tree, go buy it, and turn it into the office with that ornament stuck on it.
That's a good idea.
That way, because I know when I was subbing is when I actually helped cut out the ornaments. I had a parent looking at the tree and they looked really upset. And I went, what's wrong? And they're like, our teacher needs stuff that we just can't afford. And I went, you don't have to just buy for your teacher. She kind of looked at me and went, what? I said, if there's one that you see on there that you can afford something, grab it. You don't have to just grab from your teacher. And she lit up. So they're like, it's up there for anyone to grab. I know some of us paras last year grabbed a few that were left towards the end of the school year, or towards the end of the Christmas, before Christmas break, and brought it back afterwards.
So another thing that like drives me nuts though is you have to clean out your room at the end of the school year.
Yes.
What irritates me is that all those items that are sent home that end up just getting thrown away could actually be saved for the next year, but they can't do that because they have to clean out the room. I feel like
here we keep them. The only thing that gets sent home with our students is stuff that's out of their desk. If there's leftover Kleenex, now I take that back. Last year, and the year prior, if your student had sent wipes, like a container of wipes, and they still had that, they did send that home. But like Kleenex and like these Ziploc bags, the teachers have they kept that. They keep that every year.
So like I said, I label everything down to the crayon. They sent stuff home for my daughter, and I got stuff that was not hers. And I'm like, you're sending back a whole bag of crayons. It was probably about 4 boxes of crayons worth of crayons, and none of them had her label on it. Markers didn't have her label on it, so I knew they weren't hers. They sent home some notebooks that weren't hers. And I was like, why are you sending this stuff home? You can save it for next year. I get you can't keep it in the classroom, but put it in a box, take it home, put it in your garage, bring it back the next year, and you have stuff.
I know that my niece went to school and where everything was communal like that. And what they did was they just divided stuff up between the students in the classroom and sent home leftovers. And they did it for everyone, but it was mainly so that those who were low income had stuff to do over the summer. And they didn't singled out.
That does make sense. But still, I mean,
what then? I know you're like, what are my kids going to do with it? They're not going to use this.
Right.
I know that
and the thing is, you can't send it back to the school the next year because they want unused.
Used items. Yep. That's the hard part for some of the families. I know we're in rural area. You're in a metropolis, so it's kind of the same thing.
We're actually, we're in a city, but we're where our house is considered rural.
So like we're rural farming area, and literally some of these kids live and die by the sell of wheat and corn and soybeans.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where you're going, I like when I knew that I was going to full time over Christmas, we ran to Walmart and I bought a thing of the cheap Bic pencils. See if I have one in my thing over here. Or if yeah. Nope. Like just the cheap clicky, kind of like this, only the cheaper version from Bic. I bought a pack of 100. I was out by the middle of the fourth 9 weeks. And those were ones that I just bought in case a student needed a pencil. I finally I think I gave the same student a pencil 2-3 days in a row. And I went, where are the other 3 pencils that I've given you? You haven't given me a pencil. And I went, yeah, I've given you one in this class period the last 3 days. I don't know. I said, let's go check your locker. No. I said, then I'm not giving you another pencil because I'm not giving you a pencil just to store in your locker. You have to give me a pencil. No, I don't. This isn't something that the school provides me. I bought them on my own for those who need it. I've given you 3, and there's like 4 to 5 pieces of lead in each one. Unless you're purposely breaking lead, I don't know how to help you. And he went up to the teacher and said, I wouldn't give him his pencil. And the teacher looked at him and looked at me and went, that is not what she said. And the teacher went, I'll be right back. And she went out to his locker and she walked in with a handful of pencils in each hand. She goes, this, and some of them were labeled with her name. And so she's like, Mrs. Hall, which pencils are you? I'm like, I don't need them back. But he needs to keep track. He needs to have his pencil for class. And so he got in a lot of trouble. But he was pretty much hoarding pencils. I mean, I don't mind giving a pencil to a student that needs a pencil.
I mean, that's what the pack of 24 is for. When you send a pack of 24, they're not all for your kid. I get that. I may label them, but I get 24 pencils are not all for your kid. But when you send a note home a month later saying you need to bring more pencils, you don't have enough, I'm like, no, I don't. I sent 24 at the beginning of the year. You're going through, what, 5 pencils a week?
Depending on the student, it can happen. I have seen it, especially if they're the wooden ones, not the mechanical ones.
Well, they always say number 2 pencils because if you buy the cheap ones, you can't really sharpen them. They break easy. The number 2 ones are the best.
They don't sharpen evenly.
Yeah.
When we lived out at Fort Lewis, they actually got specific on the brand of pencil. You had to take Ticonderoga pencils. And that was the only pencils that they would allow. Because, again, I was helping as FRG, and we're like, we're going to have to go make a pencil run. And they were like $6 for a pack of 12.
The other thing is like, when they have like Valentine's parties and things like that, and people send packages and they have pencils. Man, one year I was like going through all these unused pencils, like unsharpened. I probably had 40 something. I literally took the whole bag and sent them to the school. And I was like, I better not get a note home saying that you need pencils because there's 40 in here.
Yep. That's actually a great idea. We, my mom buys Valentine's and stuff on clearance. And some of them have like, you have to look at them. Have like a spot for the pencil to go, or some of them just like you can tape the pencil to it. The ones that you could just tape the pencil to it, my mom takes apart, and she will keep the Valentines in the box and put the pencils in a bag and sends them to the school.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I check garage sales. Like the parents have cleaned out their kid's room and there's like tons of like unsharpened pencils in a bag. I'll buy it and send it to the school. Pencil's a pencil. Yeah. If you're in need of a pencil, you're going to be happy with the pencil that you're handed. Mm-hmm. But like, I keep these kind for myself. And a couple of my students were like, Mrs. Hall, can I have one of your pencils? And I'm like, yeah, here handed them one of the other ones. Like, no, I want one of those pencils. I said, no, those are my pencils. I paid for these. I'm going to keep them. And again, a student complained to the teacher. And they're like, it's her pencil. Leave her alone. And then I have pretty pens for this year too. I buy stuff that is pretty and like that because then I know it's mine and I don't give it away.
I just have generic. I mean, I have some nicer pens. Here's another generic one. But like these right here, they're like the gel pens. But I use these here. These are the ones that when the kids are like, "Can I have a pen?" I'm like, "Yeah, go get you one of those cheapo ones."
Yep.
I have this one. This one's cute. It's a Disney one.
Yeah.
But most of mine are just like this one. I'm going to cover up the name and address. But this one is like my dentist office.
Oh, that's nice.
I've got like 10 of those because they're, especially during like the pandemic, they were like, keep whatever pen you use, keep it.
6th grade classroom actually does this. It's 50 cents for 6 sheets of paper, or a quarter for a pencil.
Do what now?
Brandy says, bring some to sell and jack the price up. Extra income. Sorry, kids. 6th grade classroom actually does this. Or the 7th grade, the 7th grade social studies classroom does this.
I can't remember what school year it was or which kid it was, but you know how like they keep track of your good behavior when you're in elementary school and you can level up or level down. If you level up, then at the end of the week, you get a prize out of the treasure box. Yeah. The treasure box was always like crayons, pens, pencils, and things like that.
Yeah. Yep. One of the teachers is, I'll have to see if I can grab a picture of it if I'm at the middle school and share it later. But it's literally like a vending machine that you put quarters in and you push it in to get paper and pencils. And they're like, as middle school, you should be responsible enough to let your parents know, I'm out of pencils, I'm out of paper. Now, if there's a situation where your parents can't afford something, like I had a student that he came to school on a Monday and his Chromebook wasn't charged. And I went, S to be you, stings to be you. Sorry, dude. He goes, Mrs. Hall, can I talk to you in the hallway? And I went, oh gosh. I went, what's that? He's like, my parents couldn't pay the electric bill. Our power got shut off Friday afternoon.
That's terrible.
I went, okay, I take back things to be you. I apologize. Like, it's okay. You're dealing, that's the rules for school. If the fire marshal walks in and sees kids charging Chromebooks, and it's not like we're getting ready to go on a longer break where they stay at school, it's a $5,000 fine. So he's like, it's not your fault. And I said, well, I still apologize. I said, let's go down and talk to Mrs. McFall. I said, he goes, okay. So we went downstairs. I explained what was going on. And she goes, okay, here's my Chromebook. It is fully charged. She logged out so he could log in. She's like, I will charge your Chromebook. And you can let me know at the end of school if you're going to need it for homework. If not, we'll leave it plugged in here in the teacher's workroom because the workroom is different than the classroom for fines. And he goes, okay. She goes, now here our power, water, sewer and stuff is all connected. And she goes, were you able to get like a shower, something to eat? And he's like, no. She's like, okay, she's like, go change into your gym clothes. Bring me your regular clothes. We'll run them to the home ec office. We'll wash them up. You can go shower in the gym and then go back to class. And he went, okay. And so I think So she contacted grandma, and grandma was like, I had no idea. If they had just said something, I would have helped them out. Well, guess family dynamics. So grandma called dad and finally convinced them to let the student stay with her until he got everything figured out so that he would at least have power to do homework. But I felt like a jerk.
Yeah.
That's our typical line. Thanks to be you. You should have done what you needed to do to be ready for school the next day.
Well, the thing is, like, not all people that need help will admit that they need help. And that's the hard thing with, the donations and stuff. And I think that's maybe why they do the communal stuff. But I still just get so irritated.
Yeah.
When it's only been a month and I'm being asked for more stuff.
Yeah. I get it.
And do they send that note home with every student, or do they just pick and choose what students to send that note home with?
In my experience, they tend to pick and they'll like send it to all of maybe all of the last names with M get a note for this supply, and all the last names with this R get this note. That's at least how our school does it.
Because one year it was like every week, we need more pencils. We need more pencils. I'm like, how are you running out of 24 pencils weekly?
Communal.
Now, if you're saying we need more tissue, we need more paper towels, we need more hand sanitizer, I get that. But those 24 packs of pencils weekly is ridiculous.
One of the students last year in 4th grade, their parents went on to Amazon and bought a 100 pack of pencils and stuck a note on it that said, "Do not contact me for more pencils."
That's not a bad idea because it's probably cheaper to do that anyway. I'm going to go look right now.
Yeah. Amazon Basics wood case, number 2 pencils, pre-sharpened, box of 150 is $13.
Oh, yeah, that's cheaper.
They bought one of those and stuck a note on it that said, "Do not contact me for more pencils. I have supplied 150.
Oh, I'm looking at the same one you're looking at.
Yep. So, I mean, if you figure $13 for 150 pencils, that's a pretty decent amount of pencils.
Yeah, that should be plenty. And they're number 2 pencils.
Yep.
I think we're looking at the same one right now.
Probably. Amazon Basics.
Oh, here's one for 320 pencils for $25.
That's even better.
Yeah. It's like, don't you dare ask me for pencils anymore this year.
Yeah.
320. That will supply at least 5 classes.
Christy's like, my teacher's getting supplies in bulk this year with the note that says, "I am done." No more.
Don't ask me for anything else. I mean, $25, 320 pencils. That should last. That should last.
Christy's like, "I'm ordering now."
No, not now, but I think I'm going to do the 321. And I'll split them between the 2 kids.
That's 100 and something. 160 per kid.
Don't ask me for any more pencils the whole year.
Christy's putting a note with those too.
Oh yeah, yeah. One of those moms. The teachers probably hate me.
Says, "I still got the Disney pins with the Magic Kingdom rides and slogans." Okay, here's a funny tip for you. If the pins like Christy showed, they're like the stick pins, but when you're at Disney, they say Walt Disney World Resort on them. Anytime there's one with a cap, I take it. And I actually told when we were checking out last year, at the end of January. I'm like, oh, I love these pens. I keep them and I use them at home. The guy literally opened a drawer, grabbed a handful of them, and stuck them in the bag. He goes, we have boxes of them. So don't be afraid to ask for extra Disney pens. They're free.
They also provide, I don't know if they still do, but at the deluxe resorts, they give you like stationery in your room and a pen. They don't charge you if you take that.
Do you want to see what I got on the boat? We were at customer service and we were talking about our account. And I saw that they had a notepad that said Freedom of the Seas. And I said, oh, where can I buy one of those? And they go, oh, you can't. It's like notepads we have back here. And I went, can I have one? And the guy goes, no. And the girl next to him goes, yeah. She tore off the page that she was using, thumbed through it, and goes, here you go. So I have a Freedom of the Seas notepad.
Why did he say no?
Because he was grumpy.
Grumpy butt.
Never be afraid. If you see something, like if they're writing on a notepad, never be afraid to ask him. Because like it may have been something as simple as like, oh, it's $5 in the gift shop. I probably would have paid $5 for it.
Yeah.
Free is better.
I usually, if I see something that they're using that I like, I usually say, hey, do you know where I can find that?
Exactly.
Instead of asking them for it, I say, do you know where I can find that? Because if you ask them for it, sometimes they're just kind of like you said, if they say no. Whereas if you're like, do you know where I can find one of those? Well, it might be like, here, you can have this one.
Well, that's what I had asked first. Like, where can I get that? Because I thought it might have been something out of the gift shop, because sometimes like if it's like maybe messed up or something, they use it up front. I mean, I know we do at school, but so he was grumpy. So I have my own little Freedom of the Seas notepad. So like definitely when you're like, they don't care if you take the pens. They're there to take. Now, if you could tell it's like someone's nice pen like that, like it's not a Disney pen, don't take their pen. But if it's a Disney pen, take the pen.
Lena, what are you doing, dude?
Well, we have been on for a little over 2 hours. So, Christy, I know, right? Why don't you tell us what is coming up for you?
Why my big screen? Oh, as I'm stretching. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look. What's today? The 16th?
14th.
14th. The 18th is Year of the Year, Marvel edition. I need to remove this one. We've already done that. The 24th is Christmas in July craft, which mine will be makeup, and I will do that one. I'm not doing the recipe, Lena, on the 25th.
Okay. That's fine.
Then the 25th, this is why, I have Christmas Joy in July swap. The 31st is Happy Birthday Harry Potter. Is this a pin board thing, or is it whatever we want?
It's whatever you want.
Because for whatever reason, I have it listed as pin board.
Maybe you were going to make a pin board?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do makeup look. Two birds, one stone.
Right.
Magical Makeup with Christy this Thursday, tomorrow, is Christmas in July, so that I can do my makeup look for her collaboration. And then next week, we've got Happy Birthday Harry Potter, so I can do my makeup look for that one. And our guest next week is Jessie from Just Jessie. And the 29th, we will not have a stream. It's my son's birthday. Then Castle Chat is hosted by me this week, and we've got McDork Pops. And I think that's it. I have regularly scheduled posts every Monday and Friday, and then shorts that post throughout the week. And that's it.
All right. So tonight we have Travel Talk at 7 p.m. here on my channel, and it will be me and Christy again. And we will be talking Christmas. We'll probably talk Halloween, Christmas. We'll talk all holidays at Walt Disney World. We may have to condense some things, but you know, we'll get through some holiday stuff tonight. We will eventually finish at the resorts. We promise, if we will get there. And so we have that tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time here on the Hall Family Adventures. Tomorrow night is Magical Makeup on Christy's channel. Castle Talk is on Christy's channel. Next Sunday will be Craft and Chat on my channel. And our dedicated upload days through the end of the month are Tuesdays and Saturdays. Starting August 1st, we have daily videos going up. So we're really excited about that. And the first videos will be of our latest trip to Branson. And then we have the next 30 videos after that will be of our road trips and Freedom of the Sea ship videos and recap videos. So we're really excited for those to come out. And we want to definitely say again, huge thank you to Royal Caribbean for paying for that cruise for us. It was really fun, minus the financial snafu at the end, which if we had known about, it would not have happened. So learn from my mistakes. I think that's about it. I don't host Castle Chat for a little bit, so yeah.
What's that?
Huh?
Oh, you were big. I was like, something just changed on the screen.
Thank you, everyone who's come out and hung out with me, celebrating my 2-year anniversary today on YouTube. It's been a great ride. I'm getting closer to that 1K mark. So if you've enjoyed it, share it with your friends. And we will see you back here tonight for Travel Talk, Talkin' Holidays.